What's going on, you guys? Paul here with Paul's Performance, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to check a timing belt. Lots of cars throughout all different automakers have timing belt engines. Not all of them. Like I said, you got timing chains and gears and all types of things. A lot of them do have timing belts, and with timing belts, they are a maintenance item that needs to be changed out. Most of them are every 100,000 or less, depends on the vehicle. Today, I'm going to be showing you what to kind of look for when you go to look at a car that is a timing belt driven engine. I'm going to be showing you guys on a Volkswagen TDI motor on my personal car that I actually just purchased that needs a timing belt but is not in horrible shape. But I'm going to show you guys what to look for and how to check a timing belt on your own vehicle. Like I said, if you're just not sure, if you're going to buy a vehicle and the person selling it to you has no idea about when the timing belt was changed, which is usually a red flag. We're going to go under the hood and I'm going to show you guys how to kind of find the timing belt, and then I'll show you guys what to look for as far as super red flags of should I drive this thing home. So let's get under the hood and I'll show you guys what to look for. Before we go under the hood and look at the timing belt that's on this engine, I want to show you guys a new timing belt. This is a brand new Continental timing belt for this car. The car we're looking at today is a 2012 Volkswagen Sport Wagon with the CJAA 2.0 TDI engine in it. When you're looking at a belt, it's best to know what a new belt looks like. So I want to show you guys, when you look on the backside, you can see the color and the texture of it. Like I said, it has a fabric texture on the back, so just be aware of that, and I'll emphasize that a little bit more when you're looking at the one on it. If you look on the inside of the belt, you have all your grooves, all your teeth. Just check the texture out, how it looks. There shouldn't be any cracking. Like I said, obviously this one's new. That's the way this should look. I just wanted to show you guys a new one for those of you guys who may not know what a new one looks like, and you're looking at the old one and you're like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. One of the main things to look for when you're looking at a timing belt is cracks and dry rot, signs that it's been there a while, and if it has cracking in it, that is a red flag. I'll show you guys what this one looks like. What I like to look at, some of the procedures I do, like the one I did when I bought this car. Each engine's going to vary unless you're working on a TDI. Most of the TDIs originally come with an engine cover. It may not be there anymore. If it is, you'll have this one here. Some of them have screws that hold it in. I know the ALH's has a little 10 millimeters. This one just pops in. The BRMs just pop on there, but you'll want to get that off. So you may want to bring, like a little socket set just in case you're looking at one that has the, bolts in it. That way you can get the cover off. Usually it's very simple, maybe 1 or 2 bolts. So once you get that out, you're going to want to locate the front of the engine. The front of the engine on this is on this side. So once you have that located, that's usually where your cover is going to be. This cover is already removed. I have it here. I went ahead and removed it. It can be a little bit of a pain to get completely off like this. Usually when I'm looking at them, just to inspect, I usually unclip the clips and just kind of peel it back out of the way. That way I can see the belt. I don't fully remove it like I have here. This is mainly just for this video. First thing you're going to want to look at when you pull this cover and get it out of the way is you're going to want to analyze the top side of the belt. As you can see, it has that same fabric texture on the top. You want to make sure that you don't have any cracks throughout the belt. If you see cracking in the belt or dry rot, that is a red flag. It really needs to be changed. This one right here doesn't show any signs of cracking. This one has been in this car, I think, for approximately at least 90,000 miles. This particular car calls for a 120,000 mile interval. I tell everyone with a TDI to swap yours at 100,000 to be safe, or before, just for good measure. You want to make sure you get a quality belt. I like the Continental belts. Yes, they cost a little bit more, but if that belt breaks because you got a cheapo one off of eBay, it's going to cost a whole lot more to get that fixed than it is to just pay the extra $30 for a quality belt like a Continental or an OEM or INA. Whichever one you want to go to, I use Continental myself. That's my preference. This belt right here, as you can see by the markings there on the top, it is a VW OEM belt, which is a good sign. That means it's a good quality belt, and that belt should be rated for the 120,000 miles that Volkswagen calls for. The brand really doesn't matter when you're doing this inspection, because most of the time you're probably not going to be able to see it. I just got lucky on this one and it stopped up top. You could crank the car up a bunch of times and try to get the lettering to stop at the top, and you could see what kind of brand it is, but really doesn't matter for at this point. The main thing is you want to inspect for dry rotting, cracking on both sides. Now, I like to bring a mirror with me. That way I can stick the mirror and go and look at the teeth on the bottom side and inspect the teeth and inside the teeth for any sort of signs of cracking. Because just because you don't see any cracking on the top doesn't mean that it's not starting to show signs of cracking or dry rot on the bottom side. Now, it's kind of hard to see. It's a little bit dark down there on this one. But like I said, you can get you a flashlight, shine down in there and look at the teeth and see if you see any cracking. If so, then I would definitely be on the red flag list of you need to get this belt changed. This one doesn't show any signs of cracking on the top or the bottom side. I'm still gonna change it because like I said, it's coming up to the interval and I just want to go ahead and get it out of the way. That way I don't have to think about it for another 100,000 miles. Another check that I like to do, if you can get the cover off like this one and really get a good view of the belt, to get the cover off, that way you can see it and crank the vehicle and then come out here and watch the belt. If the belt is moving left to right a whole bunch, or as the car is turning, you're seeing something kind of flapping or anything just out of the ordinary, it should be going kind of dead straight, nice and smooth. If the belt gets narrow in a spot, that's all red flag stuff. So crank it up and look at it. We'll do that in a second. Another thing that I do, because I have the option, and a lot of you guys will probably have the option, and you probably haven't thought about it. So if you have a high-tech phone, like I have this iPhone 15 Pro Max, it has a slow-mo video recording. While it's running, you can actually record in slow-mo and then rewatch the video, and it'll show the belt in slow motion, and you can get a little bit better of an inspection. I have a clip on here that I'll show you guys right quick before we start it up, and I just kind of show you what a belt looks like that's in normal condition. If it's bouncing all over or going side to side, it could mean something like the tensioner or the belt is fraying and starting to come apart in one spot. That it could look perfect on the top here, but then the bottom side could have a strip that's coming out and starting to fray and flap. And if you see that, huge red flag there too. That's another thing I like to check, but I'm gonna show you guys the slow-mo and then we'll get in and crank it up. So as you can see, like I said, this belt in particular is not going any, all over the place. It doesn't have any frayed up spots that are flapping. It doesn't have any narrower spots than the other. This belt is in pretty decent shape for, like I said, the amount of miles it's on it. But I want to say this to those of you guys that have this same scenario. This is the checks that I do to check for the timing belt. This is not a concrete, oh, okay, I'm good to go. We're good. A belt that's in this condition, a brand new belt, can still fail. I mean, that's just the way the world works. Stuff can happen. Inspecting it like this can say, okay, this one's not about to break on the way home. If it's cracked and frayed up or dry rotted up, I wouldn't drive that car home. I would leave it where it sits or offer him $1,000 less and trailer it home in that case and put a timing belt in it. But one suggestion I can give you guys, no matter how the belt looks, unless they have paperwork saying that it was done at this amount and it looks great, hey, it was done 50,000 miles ago, here's the paperwork with the receipts, and the belt checks out good, because just because it's only got 50,000 miles on it and it's rated for 100 doesn't mean the belt looks great. So still inspect it whenever you have a car. If you already own the car, give your car an inspection. As you say, oh, I just did it 20,000 miles ago, it doesn't hurt to check it, every now and again when you do an oil change or you're putting a fuel filter on. Give it a glance, because like I said, it is a very crucial part of your engine. But I will say, if you're buying a car or you already bought the car and you don't know when the timing belt was changed, or the owner doesn't know when the timing belt was changed, I highly emphasize you get the timing belt changed as soon as possible. This one right here looks fine and I probably could drive it another 20,000 miles, but I am going to change it immediately. The main thing about this check that I would say, what kind of miles is on it, you give it a check, it looks good, you can go on about your business. But if you have no idea when this belt was changed and you check it and it looks this good, I would still change it as quickly as possible. It looks great, but the best thing to do is to put a new belt in it. That way when it was changed, and then you can keep up with that interval. But anyways, that's what I do whenever I look at an engine that has a timing belt, or to inspect it to see whether or not it's absolutely needs to be changed, or whether or not it's got some more life into it. This is not concrete. It's not, oh, well, Paul said that if it don't have cracks in it, because I'm not saying that. I'm telling you to change that belt. If you don't have information on it, change the belt. This is just an inspection. I bought this car from an hour away. If it was cracked up, I would not have driven it home. But since it looked like this, I drove it home. But it has been sitting there ever since, because now I'm waiting to find time to put a timing belt in. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like always, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.
I just